You're watching No Names Necessary with Joe Mauceri.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of No Names Necessary. I am Joe Mauceri, and you can look out your window and choose to see a blizzard in New York City, or you can be like me and look at your television, where the Mets and Yankees this weekend played in sunny Tampa, Florida, a wonderful spring training game where you can tell, well, baseball is in full swing and spring is right around the corner. Thanks for watching this show. We've got lots to get to today. We're going to talk about Jazz Chisholm headed into free agency. It's a big year for Jazz. Wait till you hear the expectations that he has for himself. We're going to be talking about the World Baseball Classic. We're going to catch up with a former Yankee who will be playing in the World Baseball Classic, even if he's not playing for the Yankees anymore, sharing his advice with the Bombers, though right now down at spring training. But we have to start today with the one and only Aaron Judge, because Judge is off to another incredible start this spring. He and Aaron Boone are on the same page, and when you see that these two both want to win a World Series, both so badly are expecting this team to get back to a World Series, well, you know, there's some big expectations for the Bombers this year. So we were down at spring training, Simone Eli, Nelson Figueroa, and they had a chance to ask both Boone and Judge about their relationship on and off the field. And it is clear that Aaron Boone has a special relationship with his Yankee captain.
Somebody that, that I admire and respect, and we've been through a lot together. We are manager-player,
right?
But that said, I think we're very close, and there's probably no other player that I, run things by, that I, kind of partner with on some things. Like if I'm thinking about shaking something up or doing something different, a lot of times I'll talk to Judge about it just to, we're on the same page, make sure how it's going to play in the room and those types of things. So those are conversations that I have with him probably more than anyone else.
There's been so many times like I'll be frustrated with something or I don't like what's going on, and I'll be kind of sitting in his office right after the game ready to, kind of talk things out. But I think just having that option to where not going to voice the opinion of the team. He's here to help us become the best versions of ourselves and be the best team on the planet. So I think just having that dynamic to where he pushes you, motivates you, but also if there's a time that you got a question, he's right there for you.
Just making sure we have a focus each and every day when we walk in these doors and walk down that hallway to go to work, knowing what each individual has to do that day. Let's move the needle a little bit every day to get a little bit better, and not only individually, but as a team.
He touched on some negative stuff, touched on some positive stuff, but I think the ultimate message was just a standard of being a New York Yankee, what it means to play here, what it means to wear the pinstripes. A lot of legends have come through this building and played here and built up this organization, and they didn't do it just off of talent. They put on the work they put in every single day. There's a standard that comes with playing here. So he just really talked about that and some other things, and I think it was a great message.
It is amazing to hear how focused Aaron Judge is. It is amazing to see that he has hit his stride already in spring training, coming out of the gate, 4 RBIs for Judge. He's taking walks early. He's getting ready to be Captain America for the World Baseball Classic. And we just saw the camaraderie that Team USA hockey had in winning a gold medal at the Olympics. Well, I think Judge kind of sees this World Baseball Classic the same way. He wants to go out there and he wants to help Team USA win the World Baseball Classic. I think there's unfinished business there, especially with him going out there and leading that team. There's talk about baseball going to the Summer Olympics when they come here to the United States. And already we've heard a lot of players say that they would want to join. I have no doubt that Aaron Judge would want to be one of those players. He is so focused on winning. He is so focused on doing everything he can to get his team to where it needs to be, whether that's the New York Yankees or whether that's Team USA and the WBC. Now, I know a lot of Yankee fans might be a little nervous about Aaron Judge going and playing in the World Baseball Classic. But you know what? If he's going into the regular season that much more prepared, that much more ready to play midseason baseball form, well, then the rest of the league better watch out. And look, it's not just Aaron Judge. The Yankees have 11 players who are going to be playing in the World Baseball Classic. Maybe 12, depends on who makes this roster down at spring training. But you got some big names out there that are going to be participating. Obviously, Judge, your closer, David Bednar is going to be one of them. Paul Goldschmidt, all those guys playing for Team USA. You've got Camilo Doval and Austin Wells playing for the Dominican Republic, as well as Ahmed Rosario. You've got Jazz Chisholm Jr. playing for Great Britain. That's a guy who's in a contract year, who we're going to get to in just a second here. Jose Caballero over at Panama. And then there's so many other players from other teams who are going and participating in this. The players love it. So you have to just be willing to accept it at this point. But that's what it's about. And look, you look at the fact that right now, Aaron Judge, albeit spring training, looks like he's in midseason form. He's going to have the rest of his teammates ready along that same track to be hitting the ground running in midseason form because he's ready to go right now. And you saw it with how many people got there early, right? One of the guys who got there early was Jazz Chisholm Jr., right? And he talked about Judge as a teammate. And he said that he just knows how to make everybody feel comfortable in the locker room. Now, for this Yankees team, that's not going to be an issue because they're basically running it back with the same roster that they had last year. So the guys know their place in that locker room. Now he can go out there and hold them to a standard. Jazz had a great season last year. 30-30 guy, right? And he is going to be due a contract at the end of the season. He knows he's playing for a contract. The question is that going to be a distraction for him throughout the season? And Aaron Boone is confident that Jazz will be able to focus on what's important when the season starts.
Don't expect it. I feel like he's in a really good frame of mind. He's incredibly confident for good reason in his ability to go out there. And, bottom line is he goes out there and, goes to the post and does his thing and hopefully keeps even improving in his game. He's going to put himself in a really good position come the end of the season.
He also believes that he can go 50-50 this year. Do you think that's possible for him?
That's all. We'll be in a good spot if he does. Look, it's hard to put a ceiling on what he went 30-30 last year and missed a month and didn't run for 2 months. So, he's capable of some special things between the lines.
If Jazz Chisholm can go 50-50, yes, the Yankees will be in a very good spot. Although I don't know if he will be a Yankee beyond this year if he goes 50-50, because I don't know how the Yankees are going to find the money to pay him if they have to hit that threshold. Now, I know Giancarlo Stanton's money's coming down a little bit. But when you hear Aaron Boone say he wouldn't put it past him, look, it was an incredible season last year for Jazz. And as Boone said, he missed some time, wasn't really running for a month. So if he goes out there, I have no doubt that Jazz Chisholm can go out there and be a 30-30 guy, a 40-40 guy. I really think he can for this team. And that's scary. And let's not forget, all the talk about Jazz coming in was whether or not he could be part of a New York team that has the scrutiny of the media here in New York. There was some questions about what kind of teammate he was coming from the Marlins. But he's been a fantastic teammate here. There have been blips here or there that you might have liked him to handle some situations differently on the field. You think about maybe him just not answering the media, facing into his locker for an entire interview during the season last year. People want to get on him for the 3 home runs in the home run derby, but the guy's living out a childhood dream. I'm not going to kill the guy for going out there and, I don't think he wanted to hit 3 home runs. I'm sure he wanted to hit more home runs, but he hit 30 home runs in the games that counted. That's the most important thing for this Yankees team. And let's not forget, he also was willing to switch positions, right? He moved around between second and third base. Now third base is set. They went out and they got Ryan McMahon, and you know he's going to be the guy that you need defensively. You also have Oswaldo Cabrera back, which is going to be a huge benefit, not just for Jazz, but for, I think, everybody on this team, because Cabrera can play so many positions out there for you. And that versatility gives Aaron Boone a lot to work with. Now, Cabrera, also a great teammate, one of the best guys in the clubhouse. I would love to see him get more of an opportunity to get regular play. I think when he's had regular playing time, he's performed well. And that's not easy to do when you think about the fact that he's playing just about every position on the field, it feels like. So let's hope he's fully recovered from that leg injury. And if he goes out there and performs this year the way I think he can, if he gets regular playing time, well, then he is going to be quite the chess piece for Aaron Boone this season. And here's another thing for Booney going into the year. The Bash brothers are back, right? You've got Aaron Judge, but Giancarlo Stanton is also healthy. Stanton was the guy, let's not forget, who wouldn't let the Yankees wear the ALCS rings when they got to the World Series. He is a Yankee. He wants to win a championship just as much as anybody else out there. So here's what he had to say about losing to the Blue Jays in the ALCS last year when he was asked about it down at spring training.
The point of being the Yankee is being a champion. So if you really, there's always going to be a stain there without that.
He just processes things really well and really gains from the things he sees, the experience, the times he faces a pitcher, how he processes that and puts it to use in future at-bats against guys. I think he knows himself incredibly well as a hitter. But his presence with just the makeup of our club is huge.
He's that leader out there to back up Aaron Judge. You heard earlier Aaron Boone say he kind of takes the temperature of the clubhouse. Giancarlo Stanton, probably not as vocal in that clubhouse, but man, he just goes about his business. They say he returned leaner to spring training this year. He's taking care of his body a little differently as he ages. He's done it the last couple seasons, a little bit leaner down there. But if he can stay healthy, we know the kind of pop he can provide for this lineup, the kind of protection he can be for Aaron Judge. And he's not getting any younger out there. So you know that time is fleeting for him. And even if he is just that DH, he's part of the Yankee culture that exists in the clubhouse that says, I'm going to do whatever it takes for this team to win. Whether that's throwing me out in right field for a couple games, it's not what the Yankees want. But if that's what he's called upon to do, he'll do it. So having Giancarlo Stanton healthy, hearing that he still has that chip on his shoulder, and seeing the way that these Yankees have come into spring training with a new focus. Now, look, I know they're 1-2 as I'm recording this, but that's pretty irrelevant, the outcome. They did put up 20 runs on the Tigers, if you want to carry that in. These games, wins and losses don't mean anything in these spring training games. These guys mostly are not going to be the guys that we're going to see on the field. Aaron Boone even said there's a couple guys, a couple veterans, who he's not even going to have up and playing yet. So we'll see how that plays out as we move a little forward into spring training. Obviously, World Baseball Classic, I mentioned the guys who are going to be playing, starts on March 5th. So we'll get into that a little bit. And we're going to talk to a former Yankee who is back with the team and apparently hasn't hung up the cleats just yet. That's coming up next on No Names Necessary. Stay with us. We're coming right back. Welcome back to No Names Necessary. I am Joe Mauceri, and before the break, we were talking about just how many Yankees are going to the World Baseball Classic this year, and I think that a lot of Yankee fans are going to be holding their breath. We know they're going to be tuned in to watch the World Baseball Classic, obviously, especially since Aaron Judge is Captain America. But there are a lot of players, 11 or 12 guys who might be on this roster come opening day participating. But there's one guy who I guarantee you won't be on the Yankees opening day roster who will be participating in the World Baseball Classic. I'm talking about former Yankee Didi Gregorius. Gregorius will be playing in the World Baseball Classic, and our Nelson Figueroa caught up with him down in Tampa, where he was given some Yankees advice as he was tuning up as well.
Alongside over a decade in the big leagues, Didi Gregorius, one of the first things I have to ask you, we go way back to the days of being with the Diamondbacks. You get traded over to the Yankees, and of course you had the daunting task of having to fill those shoes of Derek Jeter. What was that like?
No, for me it was just, he's a legend. Jeter's a legend. He did everything in New York and an icon, so I was the guy just came after him. That's how I looked at it. I just go out there and play the game. Started slow, as everybody knows, and then I picked up and played hard all those years.
Yeah, enjoyed your time, of course, with the Yankees. You went over to Philadelphia for a little bit. Was it different with the fans after that?
With the fans, no. It's just play the game. You do your job and do the best you can. Some days it's going to happen, some days it doesn't. So, it's the same thing in New York. They'll let you know. So, I think, which is a good part of the game.
Yeah, of course, running into you in the hallways here at George Steinbrenner Field. I thought I went back in time, but apparently you're here doing what?
No, I'm just here getting ready for WBC and then get to talk to some of the guys if you want to talk. And, getting my reps in here and there and not starting to ruin everybody else's schedule. So, get my work in, enjoying them, helping them, coaching them, and then get out.
You playing shortstop still, or are you moving on to third base for the WBC?
WBC, Bogarts is playing short, so I'm going to move to third, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, that's a no worry. You guys will be just fine on the left side of the infield. Another thing for me, of course, is you said you like to talk to the guys. Have you had any conversations with Anthony Volpe?
We talked about a little bit about the game, but, just keep it simple. You don't have to try to do too much, so just be simple, be ready whenever you're out there, because I think he's coming back from injury or something like that, so I think he's going to be fine.
So what are you doing with yourself outside of baseball right now?
So outside of baseball right now, whenever I'm not, like you said, when I'm not baseball, doing the foundation back home, helping the kids and families and build 2 baseball fields so we have kids playing baseball and it's going in the right direction, helping out. We're selling some stuff for raising money for the kids so they can travel. We did a last travel, we go to Mexico. We went to Mexico and play. And we went to Aruba and Bonaire to also play with a lot of kids. So it's something we're doing right now back home, and everything's going back to the kids, so it's something great.
A hobby you picked up, I hear, snowboarding? Is that right?
Yeah, snowboarding, a little bit of everything. Snowboarding, making shoes, play piano, just a little bit of everything. So whenever I get a chance to do something, that's what I go out there and do.
Awesome, brother. Great catching up with you.
Didi Gregorius, a Renaissance man, no doubt about it, 36 years old, playing for Team Netherlands in the World Baseball Classic. I thought it was interesting there, Figgy asking him about if he had any conversations with Anthony Volpe, said he's going to be fine, coming off of injury there. Didi Gregorius did not get off to the best start with the Yankees, and he managed to overcome that and really was able to win over the fans here and become a fan favorite. I don't think it's too late for Anthony Volpe to do the same. So Volpe obviously got off to a mixed start. He won the Gold Glove his first year. He had a lot more of the expectations coming in than Didi had. So there's a lot more internal pressure. But this year is going to tell a lot for how Anthony Volpe responds. We're going to see Jose Caballero likely start the season at shortstop. But when Volpe comes back, will he get his position back? It's something to watch for throughout the season. Caballero hit a home run against the Mets, so he obviously doesn't want to give back that position when he comes back. Led the league in stolen bases last year. And it's going to be interesting to see because we know the Yankees are focused on their base running this season after what was a rough season on the bases for the Bombers last year. So there are still plenty of storylines that we're going to be following for you each and every week right here on No Names Necessary. but we're just getting started. So thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for tuning in each and every week, and we'll talk to you. Baseball's back. Think warm thoughts, everybody. Talk to you next week.